Yeah.
Okay. Jai Sripadika Shishi Guru Gaura Chandraju Ki Jai. Jai Shri Giri Raj Govardhanju Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramhansa Parivrajaka Astater Sita Shri Shriman Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramhansa Parivrajaka Astater Sita Shri Shriman Srila Bhakti Rakak Sri Dhar Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai. Welcome to Sri Chaitanya Saraswati Mission morning class. Jai Srimati Tulsi Devi Ki Jai. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Jata Parakamalam Shri Gurung Vaishnavangscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitangstam Sajivam Sadvetam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitangscha Om Ajnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Dena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Svapadantikam Haribol. So today this is the second day of the Gaura Purnima festival. Well, oh well, yeah, there's the Adivas, there's the Parikrama, then the Adivas day. And then, of course, Gaura Purnima yesterday, all over the world, everybody celebrating. And today is Jagannath Mishra's festival. So the day after Mahaprabhu's birth, we remember the festival held by his father and what he did. And this is all in here.
Oh.
So I'm going to read those verses from the Chaitanya Charitamrta that describe Lord Jagannath Mishra's giving so much charity. And I think we're going to include many. Of course, Sita Thakurani, she came to visit after some days to see the child. And you know who Shachi Devi is?
That is the mother of Mahaprabhu.
That's right. And Sita Thakurani is the wife of?
Is the wife of
Advaita Prabhu. Advaita Prabhu. And she is fully Lakshmi Devi. She's the goddess of fortune. And, oh, good for you, Prabhu. Okay, she's the goddess of fortune. And Advaita Prabhu is Maha Vishnu, Sadashiva. And she came to visit the child. And so her heart was melting to see Mahaprabhu. And she brought so many gifts. And we, of course, were singing these songs last night. So I'll just start here. Text 118. Sita Thakurani gave gifts to the mother and child at the time of his birth, and when the child was brought from the residence where he was born, back to the home of Jagannath Mishra. Then Sita Thakurani, being honored by Shachi Devi and Jagannath Mishra, returned to her own home in Shantipur. So she stayed there for some time. But the place where the child is born, that's a different building. It's not the same house as where one lives. It's a different place in that society. In this way, Shachi Devi and Jagannath Mishra, having obtained a son who was the husband of the goddess of fortune, meaning Lord Narayan, had all their desires fulfilled. Their house was always filled with riches and grains. As they looked upon the beloved body of the Lord day after day, their happiness increased. Jagannath Mishra was an ideal Vaishnava, a devotee of the Lord. So this is about Jagannath Mishra. He was peaceful, restrained in the enjoyment of his senses, pure and self-controlled. That means he was happy. He therefore had no desire to enjoy material opulence. That's independence. Our dependence upon the objects of the senses, whatever it is we're happen to be addicted to, because of our sinful past. Those are all causes of misery, every single one of them. But Jagannath Mishra had no addiction to material life. His life was very full in his inner self. He therefore had no desire to enjoy material opulence. Whatever money that came because of the influence of his divine son, he gave in charity to the Brahmins and for the worship of Lord Vishnu. After calculating the astrological chart for the child, Gaurhari Nilambar the child Gaurhari, Nilambar Chakravarti privately said to Jagannath Mishra that he saw all the different auspicious symptoms of a great personality in both the body and the horoscope of the child. He revealed that in the future this child will deliver the whole universe. So how rare is that? And there's a whole description, of course, in the Caitanya Charitamrta of the astrological chart of Mahaprabhu. And it's inconceivably rare. Every single planet was in the most exalted position possible at the birth of Mahaprabhu. And then, of course, Nilambar Chakravarti Thakur, who is his maternal grandfather, actually, Mahaprabhu's maternal grandfather, he could see also symptoms in the form. There's those who are learned can recognize the nature of a person by their bodily features. We get a body according to our consciousness. So he said, this child, the symptoms on his body are only symptoms found in Lord Narayan. In this way, the Lord, out of his causeless mercy, made his advent in the house of Shachi Devi. The Lord Gaurhari is very merciful to anyone who hears this narration of his birth and gives that person the shelter of his lotus feet. Oh, excuse me. Okay, well, this is all very wonderful too. But, that wasn't the part I was looking for, actually. Oh, well, there's the part where Jagannath Mishra is giving so many things. Oh, whatever riches Jagannath Mishra collected in the forms of gifts and presents, and whatever he had in his house, he distributed among the Brahmins, singers, dancers, poets, and the poor. He honored them all by giving them riches in charity. So that's very concise. And in the festival of Jagannath Mishra, he gave away so many things. Could you do me a favor, Prabhu? Could you kindly give me, I was thinking that all this was in here for some, the Adi Lila of the Caitanya Charitamrta.
Is it...
these books, but it says Adi Lila 1. And I'll find that. Yeah, I was imagining all these things were in there. But of course, Jagannath Mishra is non-different from Nanda Maharaj. And he was very, they gave and gave and gave. Everything that they had, it was forgiving. And this is the mood that we are also trying to imbibe, that every single thing that comes to us is for service. And this was also shown. Oh, I'm sorry, it has to be the second volume. I'm sorry about that. Thank you. This is volume 1. And sorry, that was my fault. And we can see that in these great souls. And Srila Guru Maharaj was saying, there are those who love poverty. They don't want to keep anything. They want to give everything. This life is very sweet for them. And so Srila Guru Maharaj in another place said that Jagannath Mishra, he was actually not a rich man. Advaita Prabhu was a rich man, but Jagannath Mishra was not. But his house was always full of those for whom he gave charity. Okay, here we are. Okay, I'm sorry, I was thinking I knew all this. Anyways, it's not given in so much detail here as I thought it was. But this is the festival anyway. When we remember Jagannath Mishra and Mother Sachi Devi and the appearance of Mahaprabhu and the festival that that Jagannath Mishra held, giving so much charity. It's unbelievable how much. Everything that he had was completely given away. Every single thing in his house, whatever he had, everything that he had, he gave in charity to everyone, to all the members of the society. And it is given there and concisely in that one verse. But anyway, Haribo. Jai Shri Jagannath Mishra Mahamahotsava Ki Jai. Oh, and to remember this is very good for us. We will remember this and we feel some blessing coming in to our heart from this remembrance of the home of Nimai Pandit. He became a Pandit. But of course it was Sita Thakurani who named him Nimai. And remember why? Does anyone remember why? That's true also. But neem is used to, it's a very auspicious thing, and it will ward off witches and ghosts and all kinds of disturbances, disturbing elements. She blessed the newly born child by placing fresh dhruva grass, durva grass and paddy on his head, saying, "May you live long." And to protect him from ghosts and witches, she gave the child the name Nimai, because neem is very auspicious, and those kinds of persons who are in that situation, they don't like to be around it.
What is neem? Neem is a type of wood, right?
Well, neem is a tree, the neem tree, but the leaves of that tree are used in cooking. They're like curry leaves, but they're sweet. They're sweet neem, and they're kind of sweet, not like sugar, but they have a sweeter taste. But anyway, the neem tree is a very auspicious kind of tree. So those who are inauspicious are attracted to inauspicious things, and they don't like to be around nice things, like those things that have a higher quality. So she named him Nimai to protect him from those things. Haribo, Jai Shri Caitanya Charitamrta. And this is from the Adi Lila. And I know that I've heard more details about this festival, and I thought I would find it today there. But it must be in the Chaitanya Bhagavat. Okay. So we'll continue reading Chaitanya Charitamrta, where we are, the Madhya Lila, 24th chapter, explanations of the Atma Rama verse. Haribo. Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya, Jai Nityananda, Jai Dvaita Chandra, Jai Gaura Bhaktivinoda. Jai Nityananda, Jai Dvaita Chandra, Jai Gaura Bhaktivinoda. Urukrami ahoy tukhi kaha kona arta, Etera Arta Kahilum Parama Samartha. Jai Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Ki Jai. Srila Om Vishnupad A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. The word ahoitaki is always applicable to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Urukrama. In this way, I have described 13 complete meanings of the Atma Rama verse. Okay, and now in this purport, Srila Prabhupada is giving us a synopsis of those meanings. The 13 meanings of the Atma Rama verse mentioned here are based on the following meanings for the word Atma Rama. Sadhaka, the neophyte performer, he's also called Atma Rama because he is searching. He is practicing to come to the plane of divinity. Okay, anyway, I won't give purports, but Sadhaka, the neophyte performer, Brahma Maya, one absorbed in the thought of impersonal Brahman, Prapta Brahmaloy, one who has actually attained Brahman perfection, Mumukshu, one who desires liberation, Jivan Mukta, one who is liberated in this life, Prapta Swarup, one who has attained his original constitutional position, Nirgranta Muni, a completely liberated saint, Sagarbha Yoyarurukshu, a yogi meditating on the four-handed Vishnu form and desiring yogic perfection, and Nigarbha Yorarurukshu, one who is trying for perfection in impersonal meditation, Sagarbha Yoga Ruddha, one who has been elevated to the platform of yogic perfection by meditating on the Vishnu form. Nirgarbha Yoga Ruddha, an impersonal yogi on the platform of perfection. Sagarbha Praptasiddhi, one who has attained the perfection stage by meditating on the Vishnu form. Nigarba Praptasiddhi, one who has attained perfection by practicing impersonal meditation. So, these are all the meanings of Atma Rama, and all of them, if they come in touch with the Lord properly, they will be attracted to him because he is beyond what they are searching for or what they have attained. E Shava Shanta Jabe Bajje Bhagavan Shanta Bhakta Kari Tabe Kahi Taranam. These 13 types of yogis and munis are called Shanta Bhaktas, for they render transcendental loving service to the personality of Godhead in the neutral stage. These 13 types of yogis and munis are called Shanta, Shantaras, Shanta Bhaktas, for they render transcendental loving service to the personality of Godhead in the neutral stage. If they can go beyond that platform by the grace of the Vaishnava, then they can come to that plane of worshiping the Lord in Shantaras. Okay? This is all pretty clear, right? Atma Shabde Manaka Kaha Mane Jai Rame Sadhu Sange Seha Bhaje Shri Krishna Charane. The word Atma sometimes means the mind. In this case, the word Atma, Rama, means a person who is satisfied by mental speculation. When such a person associates with a pure devotee, he takes to devotional service at the lotus feet of Krishna, if he is fortunate. If he is fortunate, he who's also attached to the mental plane of understanding, he can also come to that platform. Udaram upasate ja rishi vartmashu kurpadarsha. I'm sorry. Parishara padatim hridayam arunaya daharam tata udagat ananta tavadam ashira paramam puna iha jat sametyana patanti kritanta mukhe. Those who follow the path of great saintly mystic yogis take to the yoga gymnastic process and begin worshipping from the abdomen, where it is said that Brahman is located. Do not do this. Such people are called, oh, thank you. Such people are called sarakaraksha, which means that they are situated in the gross bodily conception. There are also followers of the rishi, known as Aruna. Following his path, they observe the activities of the arteries. They gradually rise to the heart where the subtle Brahman Paramatma is situated. They then worship him. O unlimited Ananta, better than these persons are the mystic yogis who worship you from the tops of their heads, the Brahmarandra or whatever it's called. Beginning with the abdomen and proceeding through the heart, they reach the top of the head and pass through the Brahmarandra, the hole at the top of the skull. Thus these yogis attain the perfectional platform and do not enter the cycle of birth and death again. This is a quotation from the Srimad Bhagavatam. All these different kinds of things. And it is a fortune for us that we haven't become like completely absorbed in all of these kinds of distracting processes. They're not necessary and very, very difficult. We've been very blessed by the Vaishnava followers in the line of Srila Rupa Goswami to not even be distracted by such things. And really, don't get distracted. This is all, if somebody who's heard about Mahaprabhu's astonishing mercy and the mercy, wonderful, gentle kindness of Nityananda Prabhu and those of his great followers, and they become interested in these kinds of processes, it's because they want to be in control. To surrender to Krishna means I'm not in control. You are in control. But to take to a lower process after hearing all these things, it just means that it cannot give up that ego of, yeah, I got this, I'm going to do this myself. But you can only go so far with that. And generally, in the atmosphere of Kali, you won't go anywhere. And you want everybody to see how great you are, and it'll be totally mundane. Eko Krishna Guna Krishna Mahamuni Hanya Ahoitu Ki Bhakti Kare Nirgranta Hanya. Being attracted by the transcendental qualities of Krishna, such yogis can become great saints. At that time, not being hampered by the yoga process, they engaged in unalloyed devotional service. Again, Atma Rama. Those who are become perfected in the mystic yoga system, if they are blessed by the divine plane, by someone from the divine plane, carrying the mercy of the Lord, then they will also come to that platform. So this is the whole purport of the Atma Rama verse. All these different perfections and all levels of those perfections. They are anyone who is trying to come to that plane, or who has come to that plane, or whatever. If they are fortunate, they will go upward beyond that. That's the whole idea. And these verses are very important for those who have some experience and understanding of all these Vedic processes. For us, it's not so, but for those who heard this from Sukadeva Goswami, they were all very highly advanced in all these processes. Those persons who were listening, so this was really news for them. That beyond this Brahman stage, which we're all trying for, or the mystic yoga stage, beyond that, there's something else, way beyond that. And they're hearing from Sukadev, who was also completely perfected in the non-differentiated perfections. So they listened. They wouldn't have listened to anyone else. They're like, you don't know what you're talking about. Atma Shabde Yatna Kahe Jatna Kariya Munayopi Krishna Bhaje Guna Kristahanya. Atma also means endeavor. But being attracted by Krishna's transcendental qualities, some saints make a great endeavor to come to the point of rendering service to him. Haribol. So I'll just read another verse here. Tasyaiva heto prayate taki kovido na labhyate yad brahmatam uparyada talabhyate dukkavad anyata sukham kalena sarvatra gambhira rangasa. The transcendental position cannot be attained by wandering up and down from Brahmaloka and Satyaloka to Patalaloka. Definitely that's not going to happen. Just because we're going up and down in the universe in all different kinds of species, that's not going to contribute to anything. That just is like a hamster on a wheel. It doesn't really go anywhere. If one is actually intelligent and learned, he should endeavor for that rare transcendental position. Endeavor, again, Mahaprabhu is saying Atma means endeavor. We must try. We should try very hard for that, particularly. It's not just going to happen by osmosis or something. By the force of time, one attains whatever material happiness is available within the 14 worlds, just as one attains distress in due course of time. But since spiritual consciousness is not attained in this way, one should endeavor for that separately. That is a separate endeavor. One has to understand it and do something, particularly for that aim in life. This verse was spoken by Narada Muni in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Narada Muni was speaking to Vyasadeva, who was morose even after he had compiled all the Vedic literatures. In this connection, Narada Muni advised Srila Vyasadeva to try to attain devotional service and nothing else. Very, very important. You guys know this story.
What is story, Devi?
So Srila Vyasadeva, of course, we've talked about it before, but okay, can we keep it down a little in the kitchen? So after Vyasadeva compiled all the Vedas, that's an inconceivable, no one can do that. But he did it because he's empowered. He's the literary incarnation of the Lord. So all the Vedic knowledge, which before was not written down, because people didn't need things written down. It was existing in the mental plane. It was existing. Anyone could find it through sound, by hearing. But then he wrote everything down, because in Kali Yuga, we can't remember things. So we have to read them many, many times. So after doing all that and talking about, if you do this, you will go to this planet. If you do that, you will go to this planet. If you do this, you can attain some yogic perfection. If you do that, you can get some kind of siddhi, some kind of power. You do austerities and you become very powerful. And if you do this, you will go down. And if you do this, you'll get a good wife or husband, all these things. And Narada is saying, that's not going to help anybody. All that stuff you just explained, what is that for? You have to talk about a different endeavor for transcendental, eternal, actual perfection. You haven't really hardly even talked about that. So that's, because afterwards Vyasa was very despondent. He wasn't like, yay, I did it. He's like, ugh, I don't feel like I did anything. Mm-hmm. I'm feeling unhappy. And Narada said, of course, you did wrong. You did a bad thing. Everybody believes you. And you just told them how to be happy in the material world. And everybody will believe that that's the only thing that's possible. Now I want you to compose the Srimad Bhagavatam, which has not got any of that in it. Tell them how those who are perfect live. What is their quality? And what did they do? Tell them something real and perfect and pure. So that was what that was about. So Mahaprabhu was mentioning the word Atma, meaning do something for this, to get to this. And then quoting Narada Muni. Any questions about that?
The time of Vyasadeva and Narada Muni, that was a little before the age of Kali, right? Before it started?
Just sort of at the dawning.
Oh, okay.
The dawning of the age of Kali.
So that's like estimated around 5,000 years ago, right?
Yeah.
And that also, the Bhagavad Gita, was that 5,000 years ago as well, or?
Well, yeah, this is just after Krishna left the world.
Oh, this was after when Krishna left.
But just after.
Just after, okay.
Yeah. Those who, there's so many beautiful verses that Srila Vyasadeva has given to introduce the Srimad Bhagavatam. Just after the Srimad Bhagavatam has arisen, just after the departure of Lord Krishna to his own abode. And those who have lost their way due to the darkness of the age of Kali shall get light from this Purana. These are very beautiful verses by Vyasadeva himself, explaining the glories of the Srimad Bhagavatam.
I remember hearing this it was something of Vyasadeva when he was getting, I think, visions of the age of Kali and thinking these people are going to be so disturbed, and he was feeling feeling sorrow for the people in this age. Yeah. But then a tear came running down his eye when he thought of Mahaprabhu. Well, Mahaprabhu's going to come in the age of Kali and he's going to save us all.
Yes. And Mahaprabhu was mentioned in the Bhagavatam, but briefly. I can't remember that exact thing, but Mahaprabhu, anyway, yeah. But it's not saving the world in the sense of it will become like Satya Yuga. Because Satya Yuga is a material thing also. He is taking everyone to not only giving liberation, but giving the highest position of service to everyone. That's not ordinary. You don't find that anywhere. That's not a normal thing. Even those who are promoted to Vaikuntha, finally, after so many lifetimes of devotional practice and purifying the heart and developing love for Lord Narayan, they cannot conceive of what Mahaprabhu gave. It's far beyond Vaikuntha. And pretty soon is Ram Navami, the appearance day of Lord Ramachandra is coming up. And even to attain to the pure devotion of Ramachandra, this is far beyond that. It's far beyond Mathura, or Dwarka, which is higher than Ayodhya. It's far beyond Mathura. And it's even in the highest gradation within Goloka. So these things can be understood by someone who has pure intelligence. Sumedasa. If he has pure intelligence, he will apply that to understand these things without suspicion or doubt. Suspicion and doubt are useless.
And I forgot what I heard, but exactly what I heard, but so some people believe that our line is connected with Ramachandra, right? Like it's like I read something like that in the Kirtan guidebook when he's Guru Maharaj's description on the mantra. But
You're saying Hare Rama?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, but that is not Ramachandra.
Okay.
That Rama means, it's the name of Krishna, meaning he is the beloved of Radharani, Radha Raman. That's that Rama. That sound.
Okay.
Being given by Mahaprabhu and our gurus. That is Radha Raman. Not referring to Ramachandra. Of course, they're not different from one another. I mean, like, Krishna himself comes as Rama, of course, but not fully manifested at all. He's only showing himself partly as Ramachandra.
Okay. Yeah, it came to mind because I read it yesterday and it said, in that consideration, the Hare Krishna mantra does not mention the Rama Lila of Ayodhya at all.
Of Ayodhya.
Yeah, Ayodhya, yeah.
Right. That's a good question. All right then. Haribol. All right, I am going to finish reading. We never got a chance to finish reading the Navadvip Dham Mahatmya. And even though this is describing Navadvip Parikrama, the Navadvip Dham, the Navadvip Bhavataranga, I didn't finish reading it. We didn't get a chance, and then of course yesterday was such a lovely, busy day. So I'm going to finish this. And anytime we can go on Navadvip Dham Parikrama. But it was tradition. It was established as a divine tradition by our gurus to go around, especially Srila Saraswati Thakur, to actually visit these places before Gaura Purnima. But of course, we can read these things anytime. So I'm going to read them this morning. I would like to finish. And so we're on page 154 of the Navadvip Bhavataranga by His Divine Grace, our divine Grand Master, Srila Om Vishnupad Satchidananda Bhaktivinoda Thakur. And he's describing his own wandering in Navadvip, his own divine meditation, and what is coming. So on the bottom of page 153, then slowly I shall go to Vaikuntapur, to the forest called Nishrayatsa, which is abundant with all grandeur. There resides the Lord of the spiritual sky, who is worshipped by all the demigods. In the company of his three energies, Lila, Bhu, and Shri. As much as my Krishna is endowed with the topmost sweetness, so the Lord of Vaikuntha is endowed with all opulence and grandeur. So try to understand that all of Vaikuntha is within Navadvip. So what will our senses tell us? Very much a lot of misinformation. Krishna is not without the same opulences, but he makes these invisible to his devotees. O Lord of Vaikuntha, you are merciful. You were merciful to Narada, hiding your opulences. You satisfied Narada by transforming yourself into the form of Gauranga. Seeing that form, I shall dance, diving into the ocean of bliss. I shall cry out in a loud voice. Crossing over the Biraja river and leaving Brahmani Nagara, I shall climb to the top of the Arkatila, sit there and worship Gaur Hari. I shall become intoxicated, singing the nectar of the name. O Arkadevi Surya, let me see you, reddish-hued, long-armed, clothed in the dawn. Clothed in the dawn, with Tulsi Mala. He's talking to the sun. With Tulsi Mala, sandalwood paste smeared on your body, and the name of Gaur Hari on your lips, and tears in your eyes. I know you will then speak to me, saying, my son, I've appeared before you because you are a devotee of Sri Gauranga. We demigods, directors of material affairs, are also servants of Gauranga's lotus feet. I simply aspire to be the servant of Gauranga. By my blessings, you will attain Krishna Bhakti, and you will have the strength to live in the Dham and chant the holy name. Listen to that. We demigods, directors of material affairs, are also servants of Gauranga's lotus feet. I simply aspire to be the servant of Gauranga. By my blessings, you will obtain Krishna Bhakti, and you will have the strength to live in the Dham and chant the holy name. But I derive so much happiness hearing your singing of the sweet name of the Lord that you must please keep coming to this place often, or always, he's saying. This is a wondrous thing. When we see the sun, we have so many things about, we're thinking everything exists for my service, right? And we think of it in terms of how it will be for me. And is that sound getting picked up? Not really. All right.
That one, yes.
Huh?
That one, yes.
Yeah. Oh, no. So, Damodar Prabhu? Yes. Do you think you could do that stirring in the back room?
Sorry. Time sensitive, it's custard, it's got to be done this way.
Offering obeisances to Surya Dev's feet, I shall proceed to Mahatpur. This Mahatpur is non-different from Kamyavan of Krishna Lila. Here Yudhisthira and his brothers resided with Draupadi for some time, and they heard the Gauranga Purana from Sri Vyasadeva. And here they performed intensive worship of Gauranga. Even now the devotees can see the assembly of Yudhisthira and the rishis, Sukadev, Charvak, Devala, Gargamuni, and Boma, sitting at the base of a tree, weeping as they hear the pastimes of Gauranga. This is so wonderful. This is called Mahatpur, and they're hearing the Gauranga Purana from Srila Vyasadeva, these great souls, including the Pandavas and Draupadi, Arjuna and all of his brothers, sat there, heard this from Srila Vyasadeva, and now the devotees can see the assembly of Yudhisthira and the rishis, Sukadev, Charvak, Devala, Gargamuni, and Boma, sitting at the base of a tree weeping as they hear the pastimes of Gauranga. This book, this Navadvip Baba Taranga, I feel is the crown jewel of everything. It is so astonishing. When shall I see that assembly, offer my Dandavat from a distance, and hear from the mouth of Vyasadeva the story of Gauranga delivering the atheists? In love and ecstasy I shall fall unconscious. After some time, seeing the assembly gone, shouting the name of Gauranga, I shall fall flat on the earth and cry. Feeling hunger during the end of the first quarter of the day, I shall pick fruits from that forest. But at that time, Draupadi, the wife of the Pandavas, will approach, carrying rice and cooked greens, and say, "Here, child, take this offering of mine, rice and a few sweets, which have been offered to Gauranga. Offering my full obeisances, I shall extend my hand and receive the rice and greens. Taking the wonderful prasadam, all my desires will be satisfied. Whoever gets the mercy of the prasad of the Lord obtains pure Krishna bhakti. May I eternally be a recipient of that mercy, so that I shall be able to easily give up this material world." Very astonishing. So when we think of prasadam, we should remember this paragraph. And what is Bhaktivinoda Thakur's experience in taking prasadam? So all these things are going on. We have to understand, these are not historical places. Like you go to, some place, Rome, and there, this happened and that happened and all these horrifying things. This is not like that. These are all places of eternal reality. Nimeshardakyo va bhajati nahi yatapi samaya. In the plane of divinity, and here referring to Goloka Vrindavan in this verse, in the Brahma Samhita, but he's saying there's no estrangement of past and future. It's all eternal. It's all there. And anything can be revealed at any time. This is not swept away by the passage of time. Not at all. Oh my gosh. Having taken that prasadam, when shall I come to Rudradweep, none different from Kailash, the abode of Lord Shiva? It's all there in Navadvip, which shines throughout the three worlds, and where the 11 Rudras dance and become paralyzed with love of God. Here, Durvasa took shelter, giving up the practice of yoga. Durvasa is a famous yogi. Very, very powerful. You don't want to get on the wrong side of Durvasa Muni. But here, Durvasa took shelter, gave up the practice of yoga, and began worshiping Gauranga's lotus feet. So even when someone is perfected in yoga, he constantly has to keep practicing to keep that way. Because it's artificial. So he's constantly having to meditate and stay in that position. So he gave that all up. Astavakra, Dadatreya, and the other yogis, along with Lord Shiva, gave up the monistic philosophy and instead engaged themselves in meditation on the lotus feet of Gauranga. No longer do they desire to merge into the Brahma Jyoti. When shall I wander in the forest and come to the Shiva Linga? Sitting there, I shall meditate on Lord Gauranga. And then I shall behold Parvati Devi, not too distant. When she notices me, I shall pay my respects and ask, "What is your name, mother?" With tears in her eyes, she will reply, "Oh, my son, my sorrow is impossible to describe." There are 5 types of liberation, and I have been given the name Sayujya, or Nirvana. My four sisters, Salokya, Sarupya, Samipya, and Sharsi, have gone to Vaikuntha-pur. So those are the four kinds of liberation found in Vaikuntha. Means the same abode of the Lord, that is Salokya, the same form like the Lord in Vaikuntha, Sarupya, Samipya, the same like opulences of the Lord. And I can't remember, Sharsti, what that means, but those are the four kinds of positive liberation, which actually the devotees of Krishna don't even aspire for them. But those are automatically there in Vaikuntha. But this one, she's saying, I am Sayuja, that impersonal liberation. And my sorrow is impossible to describe. By the mercy of Mahadev, Dattatreya, and others, were giving me attention for some time, but finally they gave me up. Oh, by the mercy of Mahadev, Dattatreya and others were giving me attention for some time. They were trying to come to me, to this impersonal liberation. But now they've all given me up and taken residence in Rudradweep. They're all worshipping Mahaprabhu, and they have no attraction for me anymore at all. Uselessly, I'm now looking for them. Where and when shall I find them? Shri Gaurangadev has liberated everyone, but is merciless to me. Therefore, I shall find a place to give up my life. And because I am bereft of Gauranga's mercy, that place will be called Nirdoi, no mercy. Just by hearing, and then Bhaktivinoda Thakur is continuing, just by hearing the word Sayuja, that impersonal liberation, my heart will tremble, as if in fear of the witch Putana. In great fear I shall close my eyes and sit tight at this place. Then someone will touch me and I will rise and see before me the figure of Shiva dancing and singing out to Gauranga, O merciful son of Shachi, give mercy to all living entities, drive away all fear. I shall fall at Mahadev's feet, requesting purification. Being merciful, he will place his feet on my head and give me instruction. Listen, devotion to Sri Krishna is the essence, and jnana, karma, mukti, and yoga are all useless. They have no end. You can go to the perfection of that and then you have nothing. By my mercy, you will conquer Maya and quickly attain the shade of Lord Gauranga's feet. To the south, I shall see Pulina there, Sri Pulina there, so attractive. That is Vrindavan within Navadvip. Go there to witness Krishna's pastimes. Soon you will attain Sri Radha's lotus feet. So this is the supreme position of Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva has so many manifestate forms, from the really gnarly stuff of the mode of ignorance, all the way to the service of Srimati Radharani as a gopi. So we have to understand Lord Shiva represents so many planes of consciousness. But here in Navadvip, he's saying, you go there to witness Krishna's pastimes in Sri Pulinagram. Shiva will disappear, and after bowing down, I shall move on, crying all the while. Viewing Sri Pulina, I shall fall unconscious to the earth, my voice choked with emotion, and producing only a gurgling sound. In that state of samadhi, in a divine vision, a wondrous figure will appear, performing her constitutional service. I shall recognize that it is I, Kamala Manjari, the eternal assistant of Ananga Manjari, the goddess of my heart. She will introduce me to all her companions and give me the service of preparing camphor for their lordships, Sri Radha and Govinda. and she will reveal to me the pastimes of the divine couple. Then I shall see who I really am, he's saying. I will see my own form and the mistress of my heart, Ananga Manjari. Ananga Manjari is the sister of Srimati Radharani. Near Sri Pulina is the Rasa Mandala, where the son of the king of the gopis, Sri Krishna, surrounded by 1,000 million gopis, is dancing with Sri Radha. Such dalliance does not exist within this material world. Who is that person that upon seeing this can ever give up that astonishing sight? That sight which I shall see, I shall not be able to describe. I shall lock it in my heart and gaze upon it eternally. In my own grove, while cultivating that sight in my heart, I shall serve constantly under the direction of the Sakis. West of the Rasa Mandala is Sri Dhira Samira, and further off, Vangshivat on the bank of the Jamuna. Ananga Manjari, the younger sister of Srimati Radharani, Jai Shishi Guru Gaura Chandra, who has conquered the hearts of everyone. Hari Bol. Jai Shri Giri Raj Govardhanju. Ki Jai. Ananga Manjari, the younger sister of Srimati Radharani, will mercifully show me the Dham, and being questioned by Rupa Manjari, my mistress Ananga Manjari will reply, this new servant will be engaged in Lalita's service. Her name is Kamala Manjari, and she is very devoted to Sri Gauranga. Being merciful to her by giving her direction and seeing to her progress in cultivating devotion to our lordships. Hearing this, Rupa Manjari will touch my body with her hand, thereby mercifully imparting to me sublime spiritual emotions and the intense desire to worship, following in her footsteps. Vishaka, whose complexion is like lightning, with ornaments and dress sparkling like midnight stars, will appear with the camphor tray in her hand. I shall fall at her feet and beg for the shelter of Sri Radha's lotus feet. They will take me to that private grove of Lalita, who is dwelling inside, meditating on service to Radharani. I shall offer my obeisances at her lotus feet, and Vishaka will explain my identity to her. This is one inhabitant of Navadvip who wants to serve you, and thereby serve the feet of Radha and Krishna. Lalita, very pleased, will say, give her a place beside your associates, and there she will attentively perform her desired service. At that time of your service, take her with you, and gradually she will receive the mercy of Sri Radha. Without the mercy of Radha, how can the service of Radha and Krishna be attained? Hare Krishna. And what are we doing? We're chanting Hare Krishna. Hare means Radharani. It means calling out to Sri Hara, who is Radharani. So we are not conceiving of ourselves in this way, but we will hear this wonderful, blessed, possible attainment by those who are the followers of Rupa Saraswati. Hearing Lalita's words, Ananga Manjari will take me to her grove. At the time of service, being very affectionate, she will graciously allow me to accompany her. Performing my task, I shall catch a glimpse of Radha and Krishna in the distance. And then perhaps Sri Radha will give me a direct order, give me the shade of her lotus feet, and give me her direct mercy. As I perform that service, I shall gradually become expert. Thus I shall please Radha and Krishna, and in that way I shall reach the heights of ecstasy. So expert in this world and expert on that plane are not the same. There's some resemblance as a shadow, but we have to understand that these things are really beyond our experience. My dream broken, I shall weep, and gazing at Sri Pulina, slowly cross the Ganga. Living at Ishojan in my private grove, I shall worship Gauranga, who is non-different from Radha and Krishna. Then I shall very carefully worship Radha and Govinda, and shall gaze upon Radha Kund and Vrindavan. Remembering the lotus feet of Ananga Manjari and the Sakis, I shall drown in the ocean of love for Radha and Krishna, and the unlimited bliss attained by performing my service to their lordships. Thus Bhaktivinoda, servant of Sri Caitanya, is begging for the residents of Navadvip Dham, for residents in Navadvip Dham. This Bhaktivinoda, servant of Sri Caitanya, is begging for residents in Navadvip Dham. I am eager for the shelter of the feet of Sri Rupa and Raghunath Goswami's Rupa and Rati Manjari. And from then I shall anxiously beg to receive my perfect spiritual body and service. O residents of Navadvip and Vrindavan, please quickly establish me in the circle of the Lord's servitors. That is certainly within your power, for you are already stationed there. As my position is to be but a servant, by somehow assisting you in your service to their lordships, I shall be able to obtain residence in the Dham. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur is giving us instruction here, and also expressing his own inner heart, that I don't want any position. I don't want any position there as conceived of by a materialistic person. If I can be only a servant of those who are servants, of the servants of the servant, that is my real heart's aspiration. I cannot think of anything more wondrous than that. Then I shall be able to obtain residence in the Dham with this understanding, with this feeling in the heart. And that is Bhaktivinoda Thakur saying, this is my feeling. It is my aspiration in life. And Navadvip Dham, again, I beg you to give me your mercy, for without first receiving your specific mercy, how can anyone attain to any of the Lord's Dhams? Please do not consider whether I am qualified or not. Especially in my attempt to present this book, I have simply extracted the essence of the instructions of Sri Janava Devi and Ananga Manjari and Nityananda Prabhu, the holder of all energies. Thus, whoever reads this Navadvip Bhavataranga with devotional faith will be able to experience the nectar of the pastimes of Gauranga. Swarup Damodar Sri Lalita will certainly give him mercy, give him the shade of his lotus feet, and accept him as an associate in the holy Dham. Very wonderful, inconceivable. This Navadvip Bhavataranga and Navadvip Dham Mahatmya. Such an inconceivable book. And we really do feel that we're in Navadvip when we're reading this book. And even if one is in Navadvip physically, one should not wander around without this book. This is the book that tells us where we are and what is that position. That all of Vaikuntha is existing in a corner of Navadvip Dham. And Navadvip Dham is so affectionate, really very affectionate and merciful. Hare Krishna. Jai. So this is the the festival of Jagannath Mishra. And Jagannath Mishra is celebrating the birth of his divine son, Sri Nimai, along with Sachi Devi, and all the demigods are coming dressed as Brahmins, and all the divine ladies of the heavenly planet, very high-minded, noble souls. They're also coming to worship Mahaprabhu. Anyone who's anyone is coming to worship Mahaprabhu. And Jagannath Mishra giving away everything conceivable, as Nanda Maharaj did after the birth of Krishna in Nandotsava. Jai Jagannath Mishra Maha Mahotsava Ki Jai. Jai Shri Jagannath Mishra Ki Jai. Srimati Sachi Devi, the mother of the universe, Ki Jai. Haribo Navadvip Dham Ki Jai. And the appearance of our most merciful, most benevolent Lord, Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu Ki Jai. Oh, thank you. Jai Srimati Kansi Shri Guru Gaura Chandra Ju Ki
Jai.
Shri Giriraj Govardhan Ju Ki Jai Jai Om Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parivar Jagacharya Astatara Sita Shri Sriman Srila Bhakti Sundar Govindadev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Jai Om Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parivar Jagacharya Astatara Sita Shri Sriman Srila Bhakti Rakha Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai
Jai.
Shri Rupa Nuga Guru Varga Ki Jai Shri Caitanya Saraswat Acharya Vrinda Ki Jai Jai Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Shri Narottam Shamananda Srinivas Thakur Prabhu Ki Jai Sad Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai Swaparshad Shri Man Mahaprabhu Ki Jai Swaparshad Shri Nityananda Prabhu Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shyama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai and Supremely Shri Navadvip Dham Ki Jai Hari Bol Jai Shri Jagannath Mishra Mahamahotsav Ki Jai Kol Kartal Ki Jai Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. May we one day really understand what Harinam Sankirtan really is. It is the pastime of Vrindavan. That's what's going on. That's why they're all chanting and crying. Because all of those divine Lilas are coming in their hearts from Harinam Sankirtan. So, what can we say? Hare Krishna.
Shri Lekha Ki
Jai Gurudev Ki Jai. Wow. Hari Bol, Jai Shri Chaitanya Saraswat, Jai Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Mission, Jai all the divine, holy houses, ashrams, and temples under the umbrella of perfect Siddhanta, perfect devotion of Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat. Ki Jai. Srimati Tulsi Devi Ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanandi. Hari Bol. Dandavat. Dandavat. Hari Bol. Jai Gurudev Ki Jai. Hari Bol.
Switch from camera to camera, let's read the comments. Open the YouTube transmission. I think it's Bimal Prabhu,
Dunya del Ay.
and that's my mom, Sandra.
She said, Hari Bol, Hari Krishna,
Really?
and Dandavats.
Oh my goodness.
And that's everyone.
Dandavat. Dandavat. Dandavat.
Focusing on the audience,
Audience.
and then you finish. When I focus Mahaprabhu, you finish.
Okay.